All right, now joined by Noah Wolfe, who covers Syracuse women's basketball for CitrusTV. Noah, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, Kevin.
All right, let's get right to it. Syracuse women's basketball team, they hit a little bit of a rut in the middle of January. They lost 2 games in a row, but they have refound their swagger. Can you tell me how they've been able to do it?
Well, I don't know if you can really call it a rut. They lost 2 games, one of which was to a very good Florida State team that I don't even know if they could have beaten at home. But before that, they reeled off 4 straight wins at home and on the road. So I don't know if you can call it a rut, but definitely that win against 14th ranked Miami, blowing the team out by 33 points, that's just unheard of. They've definitely gotten their swagger back after that win.
Yeah, and you mentioned they've lost a game on the road, but they've been dominating at home. So tell me, what is the reasoning as to why they struggle a little bit over on the road and why they do so well at home? They really beat up, as you mentioned, on a really good Miami team.
Well, I've pressed Coach Q a number of times on this issue, and he hasn't really given me that much of a tangible response. He says it's great for the players to sleep in their own bed, go to their own training facilities, and that'll set them up for success at home. But when I asked him, why can't you translate that on the road, he didn't really have an answer. He just said, our players got to play.
Now, we mentioned before about this team earlier in the season that they had issues about, whether or not they'll be able to find bench players going throughout the season. That was something that they lacked coming in, but they seem to have found those players. Can you tell me a couple of names that they have really been coming off the Coach Q bench and playing well?
Well, I think you got to start with Bria Day first. She was injured to start the season, was a little out of shape once she came back, but since then she's recovered and played phenomenally. She's been putting in a little more than 15 minutes a game. She's actually second on the team in blocks. Despite being in a reserve role, she has 28, second to only her sister in the season. Also, Des Elmore has really shown that she can play. She's a bigger guard. She can stretch the floor. She's also a big presence inside, and she's going to be critical for the team down the stretch.
And we're going down the stretch of the season, or last month or so left in the regular season. Then, of course, ACC tournament and the NCAA tournament. And Syracuse is going to have to beat a lot of really good teams to be able to get back to where they were last year in the Final Four and competing for a national title. Can this team do what they did last year, or can they even compete with the teams as well as they did last year in the NCAA tournament or in the ACC tournament?
Well, of course, it's hard to predict. It's March. Anything can happen. There are a lot of talented teams in the field, and I mean, Syracuse is 6th in the ACC. They've still got to contend with the likes of Notre Dame, Duke, Louisville, Florida State. But it's March. Anything can happen, and it wouldn't surprise me if they pulled off another run with their depth.
All right, Noah Wolfe, confident about this Syracuse women's basketball team, and we'll send it back to Lauren.